asphalt. The sample that I had here, this is inspected at the refinery. In addition to that, samples are taken at our asphalt plant, and those are retested. Go ahead.
This is the glue that you use to
Absolutely,
mix,
yeah. That
and it's hard now. Now, what temperature would make it fluid?
you probably are going to be required to keep that at about 350 to 400 degrees.
Fahrenheit.
Yes, Fahrenheit.
Okay.
In order to get it to flow through your pipes and your spray bars and those types of things.
And you make the mix, and how long would it take from the plant to drop it where it should be?
You have, I'll get into that too, but you have about an hour.
An hour.
Yeah, not too much different than a cubic yard of concrete. Any of you guys and gals ever finish concrete? Okay, you know when that comes out. I don't suppose any of you laid asphalt. Okay, well you've got an idea. When it comes out there on a truck, you've got a certain amount of time for the concrete to get it out of the truck into the forms, to get it consolidated, whether you're using a shovels or a vibrator, and then get it smoothed off. Same thing in asphalt. You have a certain amount of time, and as far as the state of Illinois is concerned, they say that time on concrete is about an hour. As far as asphalt, they look at it from a temperature standpoint. And if your mix temperature goes much below 275, then you're not going to be able to compact it. And if you can't compact it and get the proper density, then they'll reject it. Go ahead.
If concrete hardens, you throw it away. If asphalt sets or hardens, can you?
Well, no, you can't. But we don't throw the concrete away. We bring it back into our plant sites, and then we crush it, and then you use it as shoulder stone, or you use it as aggregate base. Because of disposal problems, very little concrete or asphalt is just being thrown away anymore. We probably crush anywhere between 40 and 60,000 tons of asphalt or concrete a year, and that's just our company. Go ahead. Reinforcing steel, we're getting ready. This is again on Interstate 70. We've raised this bridge deck substantially, but you see the reinforcing steel in the parapet wall, and that's coated with epoxy. That has been inspected at the point of manufacturer, and then when it comes out on the job, we're required to cut off several pieces and provide it to the state so that they can reinspect it. Go ahead. This is liquid asphalt storage tanks. These are vertical tanks, and the material comes into our plant 350 to 450 degrees. We pump it in the tanks. They're heated, they're insulated, and then it's ready to be used. If you let it cool off, like we'll have some in there over the winter, and we'll have to heat it up for next spring, it probably takes about, I think my people tell me, about 4 gallons of fuel oil for about every 10 degrees that you want to raise that liquid asphalt. So it becomes an extremely expensive proposition.
The inside of these tanks are pipes or just empty containers?
Inside of those tanks are pipes. And we pipe, and it starts down here. This is what's called a hot oil heater. And this framework starts here. And these are just full of pipes, and we actually pump hot oil through the pipes, and it's a heat transfer mechanism that then heats the oil. That we'll just hold that for a second. Talking about construction and horizontal construction for a while. No, let's go back to that other slide. The majority of construction companies in the state of Illinois and in the United States are still family owned. As a matter of fact, even though we're seeing consolidation around the country, and in some states a lot more than Illinois, but nationally I still think about 90% of vertical construction companies are family owned, and something like 81% have 4 or 5 owners, and that's all. In our company, we're 54 years old. My daughter is our 3rd generation. After she graduated from college with a degree in economics and then got her MBA, she went to work for another firm for about 3 years, and now she's been working for us for about 8 years. Our business is primarily paving, both asphalt and concrete, but we also do bridges, and we do curb and gutter, we do stone, we build box culverts. Particularly in rural areas, you pretty much have to do it all if you intend to be successful. Paving, at least in the asphalt business, is controlled by your plant locations. Just like if in the ready-mix business, you'd be controlled by your plant locations. As I indicated, asphalt will remain hot where it's usable for about an hour. You mix it, drop it into a truck, haul it somewhere for 30 minutes, get it, get it into your asphalt paver, get it spread, get it compacted. That's about an hour. That's kind of what the state looks like. We have 10 locations, and the plant at Casey is not here any longer, but Greenup, Charleston, Mattoon, Shelbyville, Vandalia, Centralia, down here at Barn Hill, which is at the intersection of Route 45 and I-74, Mount Carmel, and Flora, Illinois. So if you'd kind of take a protractor and draw 30-mile radius around those things, you would kind of get an idea of where we actually operate. Everything we do is primarily hard dollar contracts. Very, very little negotiation in our contracts. Bidding is straightforward, whether you're working on a horizontal structure or a vertical structure. You start with your labor costs, you've got your material costs, you've got your equipment costs, and then how much time is it going to take to do it. Everything we bid, and I think most contractors are the same, it's all on computers now, and the yellow pad type of bidding or estimating that I used to do, you don't do that any longer. But you still pretty much stick build things or stick estimate things. In other words, we start with those basic components and you build them up, because every job is a little bit different. When you get done figuring your costs, then we of course go back and look at our history on a box culvert or on a paving project or on a bridge project. But you make a real mistake if you just try to look at averages and try to do everything on averages. That's a lot of contractors get in trouble doing those types of things.
A question, please.
Sure.
You mentioned something about yellow pads,
Yes?
system, and computer and software. In this generation where everything is just punch here and choice yes, no thing, how would you balance between knowing really what the computer is doing and being just a pusher, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no?
That is an interesting question, and something that is extremely important, because you will need to have an idea on what the answer needs to be before the computer spits it out. And what I mean by that is that if you are working on a building project and you're doing the forming, you need to have a general idea in your mind what that cost is going to be, or you may get something out of the computer that that doesn't relate at all. It may be way too high or it may be way too low. And if you don't have that basic gut feeling about what that price ought to be, then you can really make some serious mistakes. As an example, everything we do is hard dollar, and once we submit that bid and once we sign the contract, then we're obligated to build it for that price. As I indicated, it's not a negotiated thing in public works construction. You might be able to go to a private, if you're doing a driveway or building a house, and say, hey, I misfigured the form lumber, or I misfigured the roofing material. The owner might have some leeway. In a state contract where it's been bid competitively against other people and the bids are read in public, you don't have that option. Whatever you've bid it for, that's what it'll take. And probably one of the biggest dangers is if you're bidding something, and let's just say you're bidding a concrete floor in a box culvert or in a building, and you're bidding that on a square yard basis, but you're going to buy the concrete from the guy on a cubic yard basis. The concrete supplier, he doesn't care whether you've made a mistake or not. If you have bid it that it's going to take 350 yards of concrete and it takes 380 yards of concrete, you're going to get charged for 380 yards of concrete. He doesn't care. And so if you don't have in your mind, the fact that that big a structure is going to take more than 350 cubic yards of concrete, you can be left holding the bag for an additional 30 yards, or if you've made a really big mistake, an additional 100 yards of concrete. And and that square yard price may be as much as $100 a square yard. So you've got to have a gut feeling, as to what it's going to cost. And probably the only way you're going to get that is to be out on the job for a period of time, either working out on the job or as an assistant project supervisor. But the estimators in construction are pretty talented people, and as a construction company owner, you've got to have some of your best people doing the estimating, because if you get the job at the wrong price, you've lost money before you ever get started, and you have to, as I said, complete the project. Go ahead.